Welcome back all. Just doing a small update. I was sent some PLA from a company called Rigid.ink. Bear with me a sec. I'll get their logo here. That's their logo. There we go. They sent me some PLA, this gold, brass, bronze type stuff, free of charge, and some blue PLA Plus to try. Now the PLA Plus is supposed to be a bit stronger. It prints a little hotter, and it's supposed to be some of the strengths of ABS in a PLA. Now, I've used ABS Plus, which is ABS that prints at PLA temperature. So it'll be interesting to try this stuff. I found a shape of Nintendo cartridge on Tinkercad, and I shrunk it down and found the artwork for the gold editions of Zelda and Link, and shrunk them down to fit the size of these little cartridges, which you can see I've made them to be little kind of like keychain key fobs. Yes, there are some Nintendo game fans in the family. One of the first things I printed with that brass filament, of course, lost the focus there. Focus. Was a ring. It only seemed fitting, and it's one of the things I traditionally do with new filaments on the printer, is I'll print a ring or something for my wife. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us out there. When we were talking about getting a 3D printer, we said, hey, and it can print jewelry. I happen to do it fairly regularly. It's a good way to test PLA and things. And she'd been after something that would be like brass knuckles for a while. And so, of course, her hand is a bit smaller, so a brass knuckle wouldn't really work well. So a three finger ring is what I came up with. Just pop that out in Tinkercad. It wasn't a biggie. If anybody really wants to see Tinkercad workflow for stuff like this and how I work in Tinkercad, just put it in the comments below, and I'll take note, and I'll dedicate a video to how I work in Tinkercad. Did a lot of work in 3D Max, and I still do and have done a lot of work in polygon modeling for games and stuff for some of my games. So using Tinkercad is second nature for me. It's mostly all booming operations, and it's quite quick to get simple things like this done. So if anybody has any interest in seeing that, just let me know, and I'll make a video just for that. But in this case, I was testing printing without a raft, and I had the first layer way too slow because it was overheating in the small movements. And see that ripple? Now, I don't use a normal Fabricator Mini print bed. My Fabricator Mini has some 2 pieces FR4 copper clad with capped on tape on the back, and that's the surface. And I've got a time lapse of this being printed, and you can see the print bed in that Fabricator Mini very well. In fact, I have a time lapse of, I think, this one being printed as well, but it's a much shorter time lapse because I started it halfway through the print, testing out some time lapse software. So I'll either append them to the end of this video, or I will link to them. I'm not sure yet which I'm going to do. But as you can see, it was clearly for the wife, the old boss lady on it. But she likes the rings like this, so I'm sure a lot of you may have got your 3D printers at home by telling your significant other that they can make jewelry. Well, I quite often use jewelry, as I said, as a test for prints and whatnot, and it's fun for kids and family members. And again, these are going to be some nice key fobs for the gamer, the old school gamers in the family. And something else you can see here, just going to slide these over here a little bit. For those that have been following my home-built 3D printer, this is the left side of the X carriage or the X gantry, and you can see where the Y smooth rod comes up there. The threaded lead screw for the Y comes up here, and this would be the right hand side. And it's nothing terribly special. It's simply one of those spun around. So it's essentially a mirror image of this. And it will work the same way. When I get it smoothed out, I'll be able to put one of those yellow PLA bushings in there. In fact, that gives me something I might try with that PLA Plus. I might try printing PLA bushing and see how it slides. Be interesting to see how that slides on a smooth rod. But the yellow PLA, the stuff that I've got from my local supplier, has been working really good. But it'll be interesting to see how rigid.ink's PLA Plus does. This blue here is leftover Flash Forge Dreamer from Mike, a friend here locally. He's East Coast, he's in my subs. He's always flying FPV stuff. But something I noticed when I finished both these, that there was a little bit of room in this print because the rod, I guess changing the orientation changed the little bit of tolerances in the gap. So there's just a little bit of movement, so I'll probably just put a dab of glue in some pretty specific spots, like on the flat plate there and the flat plates there, and that'll stiffen that right up. But when you get two rods in here, it'll be much better. One of the things I had to check was how much aluminum I had. I've got enough left to do the X when I get ready to do that. I got to print the top bushing holders, which are basically bolt-on and probably later glue-on versions of this part down here, which holds the PLA bushing, or you could put an 8mm linear bearing in that. So I'll bolt them down on the top, and those are just 3mm bolts. And I'm just going to grab something here. Bear with me a second. It's in my box of M3 goodies. One of the things, the last time I ordered some M3 screws from overseas, is I got myself one of these. Let's see if this shows. Maybe it won't. Focus. There we go. Maybe it just won't focus there. Anyhow, it's an M3 screw tap, and I do them by hand. I will literally just find the hole. Let's see if I can do this. One of these here for us. I'll find the hole, spin it backwards and forwards a little bit till it starts to bite, and then turn it in slowly, and it clears out the M3 size holes and threads them. And if that was thicker PLA there with a tighter tolerance, that would put some workable threads in that. But anyhow, just a little handy thing to get. These things are only like $2 from China, and if you're only working in PLA, totally worth it. In fact, as you can see, I use it just by hand. I don't put it in a tool. It says it's titanium coated, but I have a feeling that's just probably some sort of anodized coating. I don't think it's really titanium. Not at $2 anyways. So anyhow, it's a little update on the 3D homebrew 3D printer project. Some testing of the rigid.ink stuff. Quite impressed with the strength of that. And these little fellows. And the time lapse for this and those, I'm probably just going to put on the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. Or actually, I'll probably just put a link to that one because it's so short. I'll put this one on the end of the video. So anyhow, stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like if you liked, and if you didn't like, go ahead and hit the dislike if you must. It would be nice if you just mention why. Helps me improve. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of crazy stuff and you want to see my printer project moving forward, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll stay up to date with my crazy inventions and whatever's going on. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, and postscript, the videos were a little bit spaced apart in the last little while. Lost one of our family pet that was with us for 18 years, and a little bit of vehicle maintenance come up, but mainly the loss of what I would say is a family member kind of slowed a few things down. So I've got a backlog of things I got to process to put out, but I will be getting back up to speed shortly, and that. So anyhow, sit tight because I'm going to append the time lapse of this to the very end of this. So again, as always, thanks for watching.